first year offering this type of evening event. We've done some different things in the past, and some feedback we had from parents and students is they would love to have this in the evening and kind of have it broken down for the underclassmen and upperclassmen, just to give you guys some really great information as you enter into your 9th or 10th grade year and then plan for ahead. So this is the special 9th and 10th grade edition. The older kids right now are actually in the library learning about the financial aid process in a bit more detail. We'll cover some of that in a bit more of basic context here. I will also let you know that we are recording these slides as we present. So if you want to re-listen to the presentation or look at these slides later, we will be posting it on our website, so you can check this out later. Hopefully I have learned how to appropriately record on YouTube. I may fail at it, but we're going to try, especially for those who can't be here. So just an overview of what we plan to cover tonight with you guys. Really, we're going to answer that question, what it means to be college or career ready. We're going to talk about some post-secondary options that are out there for our graduates. We're going to talk just briefly about paying for college and what you guys can do at this point, what you need to know, and then really focus in on what you guys can do while in high school, whether here with our departments or your classroom teachers, or as well as what you should be doing at home. So what is college and career readiness? This really is our way of, as a school, preparing you all for whatever comes after high school. So that might be going straight to a four-year college, that might be going to a two-year college, that might be a trade or technical school, that might be a career directly out of high school. Whatever that is, we are going to do our best at the high school to make you career and college ready. Some things that we do is we tie this into academics in a variety of different ways. We're going to promote career exploration throughout your 4 years at high school. Mr. Terps and I provide a lot of counseling, guidance, and support for students as they plan. And then in addition, our teachers are really focusing in on some of those 21st century skills as well that our workforce is really wanting to hear.
Okay, so what do you do after high school? So some of your options are going on to college, apprenticeship, military, or the careers. So one of the first options listed there is college options. You have several. You have a four-year college university, whether you do a public one or a private one. You have community colleges, which we have 3 of the 4 in the area represented outside. Or you can do a vocational trade school, which many of the careers that you can do at a vocational trade school, you can also do at your community college. Exactly, for less money. Smart kid. Seeking the bachelor's degree, a bachelor's degree is a 4-year degree. And you would go to a 4-year college or university to finish it up, whether or not you start at community college or not. When you're seeking a bachelor's degree, you have a major. So you focus on one area of study. I'll use my older daughter, for example. She's at Northern Illinois University, and she's focusing on accounting. So that's what her major is. So she's taking classes that are going to prepare her to be an accountant. You can also minor. And a minor simply would mean is you're taking classes in another content area, but you're not taking as many. So a major is going to comprise the majority of your time at a university, finishing up your bachelor's degree. But you could pick up a minor, for example, say in Spanish, where you don't have to take approximately 18 credit hours. 18 credit hours is about 6 classes over the 4 years. And of course, whether it's public or private, most 4-year schools do offer the opportunity to live on campus if that's what you'd like to do.
Unless you want me to do it.
I'm keeping the glasses on every time. So the options between public and private. Public schools do receive federal funding, and they also release state funding. It says size, larger enrollment and class sizes. Typically would be that option. University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, for example, has around 35,000 students in its, as part of its student body. Versus private, you can go to a university like Drake University in Des that, for example, my other daughter went there, 5,000 students. Both are universities, both offer a variety of bachelor's degrees, including master's and doctorate work, but big difference in sizes. The public course offerings can be more vast simply because they can be larger and they receive state funding. Versus the private, like it says, has smaller enrollments, and sometimes they don't have maybe as large a variety of classes to choose from. And it says down there at the bottom, price tag. 1 year at Northern Illinois University with tuition, room, board, fees, all that for the current school year is about $29,000. 1 year at Drake, which is a private school, is $46,000. So there is a big difference in price, but depending on how your student does, they might qualify for a free tuition scholarship. Or my younger daughter, she at Drake qualified for 50% tuition. So her $46,000 price tag suddenly became $23,000. So it was actually cheaper for her to go there than it would be to go to Northern without any financial aid. So keep that in mind. You know, the scholarships that a university offers, especially whether they're academic or athletic, a private college can many times become just as affordable as a state university.
All right, so Mr. Turfs touched on this a little bit. A lot of kids don't realize once they get to college that things are a little bit different. One thing I actually didn't know until like my junior or senior year of high school, I just assumed kids went to college from 8 to 3 because that's like what I did in high school. And then when I went and visited a college, I realized, oh my gosh, you don't have classes on maybe Tuesday or Thursday? I didn't know that that was a thing. So there's a variety of different things about colleges. One thing that kind of reminds me of high school is there is a requirement to take what is called Gen Eds. So if you think about the graduation requirements we have listed for Oregon High School, it kind of reminds me of the college having general education requirements as well. Then, as Mr. Turf mentioned, you get to pick your major, and that's really what you want to do with your life someday. So the majority of your classes that you take at the college will be in that area of content of what you want to do when you grow up. There is also an opportunity to do a minor, which is just a specialization in that, but at a lot smaller scale. So for example, Mr. Turfs and I both have bachelor's degrees where we majored in education, which was like teaching. So that was what we went for 4 years to do. We all had English, I had science, I had math. I think I did take like a music appreciation class. But then most of my classes were in how to be a teacher. So that's kind of a cool thing when you get to college. You still get gen ed, but I think you get a little bit more freedom to take some classes that really make you passionate once you get to college, because you're doing those things that you love. I will tell you I did take a coaching a volleyball and softball class, but as an elective. And I was a PE major for a year until I changed, like, again, so.
I went to Eastern, we were required to take a PE class, and a lot of kids were like, once I'm done with high school, no more PE. Not quite, but a friend of mine took fencing. He had to play with swords.
That's
so
exciting.
A variety of PE classes.
Yeah.
Definitely there.
All right, so one of the most challenging things I think most people say as they start to search for colleges is it's really hard to navigate college websites. So as you can see circled up here, when you guys are looking for colleges, you are going to look at the undergraduate admission tab. So who can tell me what undergraduate means? Does anyone know what that means? Any kids? Any adults want to take a stab at what undergraduate means? Mr. Turfs, what does undergraduate mean? Or do you want me to?
It's a bachelor's degree. It's
Yeah.
your first 4 years of college.
Yeah. So a lot of schools, such as Northern, such as those big state schools, even some private schools are going to offer graduate programs. Those are for like after you get done with 4 years. Those are like the professional degrees and so on and so forth. So at these big websites, to even get to the admission page, which is going to tell you all about the school, talk about first year students, visiting the college, paying for college, the application tab, you're going to want to go to that undergraduate page. So that's one important thing on the website to know how to find, because that's how you are going to explore. A lot of websites have some really cool like virtual tours. This actually, the screen that I captured, the bikes were like moving. It was very exciting. I wasn't sure if I was going to get a blurred screen or not, but they're not blurred. One other thing that many of you might be curious on, so this search tab is really helpful. How many of you guys are sophomores taking AP Government? Or you have a kid that's a sophomore taking AP Government? So most colleges are going to award credit in a different way. So, for example, all colleges are going to give you some type of credit in Illinois if you score a 3 or better in their state school on that AP test. If you are curious what that will transfer as, if you just search advanced placement, it will pull up their tab. And each college will break down like, oh, you're going to get 3 credits of this for a 3, 6 credits of this for a 5, whatever it might be, it'll break it down. So that's another thing that I know people ask how to find that. That is the best way to tackle that one. We are really excited that we have a few guests out in our lobby. So another option for college is beginning at a community college. Students can attend there for about 2 years or however long it takes them to finish an associate's degree. Students can attend there to transfer credit. They might want to go there for a year or 2 or semester and take that credit to a 4-year school that they plan to go for their bachelor's degree. Or there's also some really great certificate programs at most all of our community colleges. So the exciting thing is I have 4 colleges listed here. Oregon high school graduates actually have the choice to pick from any of those 4 community colleges and be considered in district. I think this is unique to any other school in this part of the state. I've not heard of any other schools having 4 options. Since Oregon is kind of situated in the middle, we're really excited to offer that to our students because that's a more affordable rate for our kids. And there's just a lot of really great opportunities there. Some things that we offer in our building. We work currently with Highlands Community College to offer credit in our building. Seniors could take a college English writing class, and because our teacher, Ms. Lemanchek, teaches it, that is free college credit for our students, for students who qualify for that. So they could leave the high school with 6 college credits in English. We also have credits within the ag program and within our welding program that are articulated with Highland. So we have some really great options. A lot of our kids are also doing dual credit with other schools. So dual credit means you are getting high school credit and college credit. So it's going to show up on your high school transcript and your college transcript. All of these schools have great affordable rates for high school kids. They either cut that tuition in half or they stagger that price based on family income. So that is a great opportunity for our juniors and seniors.
All right, so for trade schools, they, just like I said, they typically specialize in a certain program. A lot of kids always talk about Wyoming Tech out in Wyoming, if they want to go into diesel mechanics, auto mechanics, or auto body repair. Wyoming Tech is a great school. I believe you can finish the program in 17 to 19 months. It's got a pretty hefty price tag because it is private and it is specialized. But if that's a place a student wants to go and you can work out the finances, it could be a good place to go, and they would finish sooner than doing the same program at a community college by probably about 5 or 6 months. They would probably spend at least twice as much, but it's individual students' choice at that point. There are other trade schools. There's DeVry and ITT. Some of them have kind of come under scrutiny by the federal government for their financial dealings with students. So I would really say buyer beware. There's
Junior year visit. Tell them about more.
yes.
Okay.
So next slide.
No. Okay. All right.
So a fourth option is the military. There are multiple branches. We have recruiters probably more from the Army and the Navy, the Marines that come here on a regular basis. The Navy, not so much, but pretty much because the Navy doesn't come, as there's like one recruiter for the Rockford area all the way down to this area, so there's a lot of schools to go after. Students can actually enter the military at the end of their junior year of high school. They can do their basic training that summer, come back in the fall, complete their senior year of high school. Once they graduate, they can ship off for their advanced training after that. Kind of have a head start on everything. Plus, during their senior year, they're in the I believe I have this right. They're in the reserves, so that you can get a paycheck and report once a month for a weekend for duty exercises. So it can be a good thing depending on what your student's interested in. One of the big benefits from the military is the GI Bill. It does offer tuition assistance once the student completes their time of service. And then ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps. If the student wants to get into that, they can interview for a scholarship which may possibly cover their entire tuition at a public university. And then once they come out as a second lieutenant, so they come out as an officer. And that's when their time of enlistment begins. So they do have a number of years. By agreeing to go through that program, to have their schooling paid for, they in turn have to give back to the United States for their service. Apprenticeship programs, there are a number in this area. Anything from laborers union to electrical contractors union. The thing with a lot of students over the last few years when I've talked to them about this, they just go, I'm not going to go to college, I'm just going to I'm going to get in the union. Kind of like it's not a big deal. Now if you want to get like the electrical contractors union, I know there's a test you have to take to get on the wait list to get in. So some students are like, oh, I have to take another test? Yeah, you have to take another test. Not to mention you have to have like a C in math overall. You know, they tend to be a little bigger than some of the other unions are. It's a great thing to get into if that's what you want to do. You make decent money at the start, complete your training, which is 4 to 5 years. So once you move through apprenticeship, become a journeyman, and you can make some decent money doing it. So once again, it's another option. If your student tends to be much more a hands-on type of person and can't see working in an office, this could be something to look into as well. Then the fifth option is just going straight into the workforce. We don't necessarily always suggest that. We suggest maybe at least looking into a community college and taking a certificate program. Once again, it kind of goes back to the trades or the apprenticeship programs. The community colleges in this area offer a large variety of hands-on certificates. A certificate just simply means that you go to SOC, you take the welding program, and you take welding classes. So you're not doing the actual English and math you would for a bachelor's, or science that you would for a bachelor's. You take welding classes, you prove that you can do what the instructor's training you can do, you get a certificate. Then you can go out and hopefully get more than just an entry-level job somewhere. Now, could you walk out of Oregon High School and go to FN Smith or Red Nyer to get a job? Yeah, you probably could. Will you start off at a great pay, or will you probably be sweeping the floors, doing all the heavy lifting grunt work? Yeah, you probably will. Now, I know both those employers like to, especially FN Smith, do encourage their employees to get further training. But, you know, you've already been in high school this many years, go to a community college, get a little extra training ahead of time, and get a job, so maybe you're starting off a little bit higher.
How many of you that are students here feel like you've kind of figured out your college plan, like you know what you're doing? Is anyone totally there already as a freshman or sophomore? All right, so the good thing is you guys have plenty of time to start that exploration. This is the time that you want to do that. So by junior or senior year, you guys can kind of start narrowing down the colleges that you're going to be applying to your senior year. All right, so we're going to shift here a little bit to paying for college. And this isn't just for the parents in the audience. This is also for our students. So I'm going to cover a few areas. I'm going to go over what financial aid is. I'm going to briefly talk on some college saving plans, and then we'll also cover scholarships. So Mr. Terse kind of threw out some price tags of some schools that he listed. Now I will warn you that these numbers up here are low. We found them on our local website that kind of catches all these for us, Career Cruising, which is a great resource. But I can tell you that those numbers for room and board for places like Western, University of Illinois, and Augie are probably on the lower end and not like the fancy dorm room with the suite option with the bathroom in the middle. But these are just some base costs to give you an idea per year what that start is. So as you can see, obviously our community colleges are all going to start at a little bit lower rate, and many people choose to live at home, so their room and board is non-existent unless people are making you pay rent at home. As you go off to some other colleges, many of the students will choose to reside on campus and eat in those dorm rooms and in those cafeterias there. So this just gives you an idea. We looked earlier today, and U of I's combined rate for about a year with an average room is about $36,000 a year, just to give you guys the terrifying number of what our college is costing these days. One really cool thing that just came out, and you might have seen it on Facebook or Twitter, is U of I is actually doing a special program for first-year students who start at U of I. If they are able to meet their graduation requirements and the household income is $61,000 or less a year, that student will qualify for a tuition waiver. So that initial tuition price is one that will be waived. There is still room and board, but that cuts the price for U of I in half, and then financial aid can still apply after that point. So there are a lot of really great options to help that $36,000 a year price tag not look so scary. So the juniors and seniors right now are in the library listening to a presentation on the financial aid process. It's very detailed and overwhelming, so we've kind of saved that for junior and senior year. But he's diving into the details of all of this. I'll go over briefly what this is just to give you guys some background, especially for those of you hearing it for the first time. Every college is able to offer financial aid when the family fills out the FAFSA, which is a free application for student aid. With that, they take the income of that family and the household that kid is living in, and they decide how much is left over at the end of the year for you to send a kid to college. So some families might have 10 grand left over a year that they can put towards their child's school. Some people are running month to month. I know that would be me if I ever had a child. And you know, I maybe wouldn't have as much money to send my kid to school. And colleges hear that. They see how much money is left, and then they put in all these things to help cover it. So there are federal and state options for that. The word you always want to hear is grant, because that is free money that you don't pay back. So that can come in the form of federal grant money or state grant money. We've been really lucky in Illinois to have a state MAP grant for those families that apply as soon as it is open, which is October 1st of the senior year. Many of them may qualify for that grant, but it will run out within the first couple months for people who do qualify. There is also an option for students to qualify for loans, and I'm sure you've all heard about this because I know I still am paying on loans and probably will be the rest of my life. So there are options for federal loans for students that have some pretty great interest rates. There are also some options for parent loans. In addition to that provided by the government, there are private options where you could go through banks or Sallie Mae or different companies that provide those loans to help fill that gap of whatever is left after financial aid money. I was really lucky in college that I qualified for what was called work study, so that also might be a part of financial aid. Now, I didn't use the money I made from working at college to go towards my tuition. My mom said that'll be my spending money, so she didn't have to give me any. But I got to have really cool jobs. I got to take stats at football games and do the book at baseball and softball games, and I worked the clock at volleyball. I mean, I did cool stuff. I also filed in the accounts payable office, which was not fun, but I did it for 4 years because it helped pay for me to, you know, go to McDonald's in town or whatever it might be that my friends and I did. So that's a really great option as well. This is a great thing to start looking at. One way to do this, Mr. Trips is going to share, is the FAFSA forecaster.
Okay, so in the FAFSA forecasters, just kind of like what it sounds like. It's the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. It's a forecaster, so you can go to, if you just Google it, you'll get to it. You can type, it'll ask you questions. You can type in your general income information, family size, how much you make, some information like that, and it will give you an idea of what you and your student may or may not qualify for as far as federal aid goes. It's not going to tell you about institutional aid from the university or state aid from the state of Illinois. It's going to give you a general idea if you qualify for some federal grants, which like Mr. Bean said, grants are good because you don't pay them back. It's money that you're given and that's the end of it. They'll also give you an idea, there's different types of federal loans that your students can qualify for. It'll give you an idea of kind of that sort of information. So I would encourage you to do that now, just to get an idea of what your family may actually qualify for, because it may have a determination on where your student goes to a certain extent. The next part, as far as talk about paying for colleges, there's some different types of family savings plans. Typically, they fall under 529 options, so they can be tax deferred. There's the Bright Start College Saving Plan, and then there's an Illinois plan for prepaid tuition program, where essentially you're buying a semester of tuition at a state public university or community college, and you do an average. So you might buy a semester of tuition, which, say, at Eastern Illinois University, which is by far the best one in the state, it may cover tuition there, but I guarantee the tuition at Eastern is not going to be the same as the tuition at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, but you'd have the majority of it paid for. You wouldn't have to come up with as much. Now, your students, 9th and 10th graders, you can look into these programs, how much of a benefit they're going to be for you right now when your students 3 to 4 years away from going and graduating and choosing their post-high school plans. So these are probably a little bit more geared towards you have more elementary age students. If you have younger kids, this might be something worth looking into. Or if you have a rich aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, I'd point them in one of these directions so they can be a benefit.
And we actually just spoke with Ryan, our Illinois Student Assistance Commission rep, and said, all right, we're going to be speaking to families that have high school kids now. If they haven't started saving yet, should we tell them just put some money aside in a savings account? He would still recommend, if you were leaving here tonight motivated to start saving a couple dollars every month, he still said this is probably the best option to do like a Bright Start college savings plan over like a savings account just at your local bank. So it was really easy for me. This was somewhat, I think, new for both of us, just learning about this. I Googled Illinois 529 and plan, and it all just pops up for you. So that Bright Start is the savings one, and you can find all of that through the Illinois page.
That would be really great because all your students got scholarships that cover every single penny of what it costs to go. Scholarships, as it says, the majority of them are available only during your senior year. Now, there are a few out there, like Discover Card has a scholarship that's open to kids in their junior year. So that's something they can take a look at when they get to that point. Local, regional, state, national scholarships. If everyone gets that scholarship packet, this means out front. All the scholarships there's a column there telling you whether it's one of those areas. Most of the local ones are available right in the counseling office. Some of the other ones are only available via a website. Off the top of my head, I know the Illinois Sheriff's Association. Every county gives out a scholarship, and but you have to go online to their website to complete that particular scholarship.
Going back. It's okay.
There's also, I didn't think about this, we could have put it up there. There's a free scholarship search engine called fastweb.com, and it's been around a long time. Your student can go on, they create an account, they answer questions, and then it searches its database, which has thousands and thousands of scholarships in it, to try and match your student and how they answer those questions to possible scholarships. That is something they can do now to kind of get an idea of what's out there. There's also some other options I think this page has on the next slide.
It might be on the junior senior side. Yeah, there's some great options. FastWeb is probably one of the best. We are working our way through, juniors have it now, but College Board accounts. And there is a SAT Big Future where, I'll kind of mention this in a little bit, there's a scholarship option there as well. So in just talking about what we are trying to do here to help prepare you, we're going to kind of run through a few of these options. One that I want to point out is how many of you guys are ninth graders or parents of ninth graders? Okay, you are super lucky. Mrs. Adams is going to be doing, for those of you who have Mrs. Adams, she's going to be doing a classroom activity second semester that will include career exploration and really exploring options after high school. So we might be able to have that in Honors English too. I'm not sure how much she's working with. I think it's Mr. Zuber that's teaching it. But we are including that in with our ninth graders. For those of you who were with us in 8th grade, you guys probably remember doing that with Mrs. Cermak as well. So we're really working to kind of cover all of these things. So at the high school, Mr. Turst and I are meeting. We have meetings with every kid in the high school. So 8th graders, we met with you guys last year who was here. And then starting this year, every one of your children and each one of you guys are going to meet with us. And we're going to talk a lot about your 4-year plan. We're going to talk about this individually for you, what your plans are after high school. And we're going to talk about what classes are best suited for you here to help prepare you for that. So a few things that we really want to have you all consider are advanced placement options. Who can tell me what advanced placement is? Who's like a sophomore in this? Adam, you got this? You want to tell us what AP is?
Classes that are are available to you in high school that count as college credits.
Awesome. So it is a college level class at the high school. The first time you can take this is as a sophomore, AP Gov, which Adam is in, and he gets to take this really awesome test in May. It's really long and it's really great. And if a student were to score well on that test, they have the chance for free college credit. So when I pointed out that search tab at the college, that's where you could search for the AP, like how it will translate to that college. Unfortunately, not all students who test are going to be able to get that free college credit, but it is still a really great opportunity to have yourself taking that college level class. And as you send that record of transcript to colleges, you will put that you have taken those classes, which is a great option. I also explained what dual credit is. We have some great dual credit options for our students. Foreign languages is another area, especially if you are considering a 4-year school right after high school, that you're going to probably want 2 years just to be safe. I always reflect every time, if I could go back and do it again, I would have done 4 years in high school and I would have minored in it in college, because I just feel like having a second language would have been really beneficial to me, and really a great 21st century skill. Also, we have a ton of great electives. We have a brand new welding lab. We have a great fine arts program. So some really great options here for electives. And then juniors and seniors actually get the chance to go to the Whiteside Area Career Center if they so choose. And there are like 12 to 15 programs in a variety of areas, from CNA to auto to cosmetology, that students can go and take. Oregon is blessed that our school district pays that tuition for those students. They're just required to pay any fees that might come with it or supplies. And that is a great thing as sophomores. If you want to sign up to go on the visit, we do in the spring usually it is, please make sure you sign up to check that out. I mentioned a little bit the PSAT. So all of you now should have taken at least one. The ninth graders got to push through that last week on Friday with the practice test. We'll be getting those results back soon. And in April, we will have a testing day. The juniors will take the SAT, which is their big test required for every junior in high school before they graduate. And to help prepare for that, we will provide a PSAT 9 and 10 for our freshmen and sophomores. So those are some really great options to get you started preparing for that SAT, as it will be coming up your junior year. and it just gives us some great feedback as a school as to what areas we need to maybe work on or what areas we are doing well in already that we are teaching you guys and your kids here at the high school.
All right, so some of the things that Oregon does to help their students out is during their junior year, we take all the juniors on a college visit somewhere, and this year we're going to Northern because they're nice and close. So we're getting a public four-year university. We're going to Aurora University, which is a private four-year university. And then to actually get more of a trade technical school in, we're going to MIT, as in Morrison Institute of Technology, not Massachusetts. We can't afford to go that far.
I would have gone to that one.
Yeah. So in Morrison Institute of Technology, it is interesting. It is just down the road in Morrison, so it's not real far away. And they focus on drafting, computer networking, and some of the construction trades that go along with drafting and that sort of thing. So it's a way for a student who's maybe more hands-on to get some more skills as far as like including surveying. I forgot about that. They want to get into more of that construction-related area. Morrison could be a good place to check out. Actually, my neighbor went there. He liked it, did very well, and as soon as he graduated from MIT, he had a job working for the Iowa Department of Transportation. I think he started out around $19-20 an hour. Took him, I think, 2 years to finish up the curriculum at Morrison. So that's not bad. It's pretty decent income for the training he got and the time that he put into it. And then we also, every year, each of the community colleges sponsors a college fair, and we usually will set up a bus. That way, if underclassmen want to go, they can have a way to get there, or parents want to tag along. And you miss riding the school bus when you were a kid, hop on the big yellow bus, and
I will tell you, we have gone to Rock Valley and to Kish, and I always make sure that we hit Portillo's or Beefaroo because those are regional staples that everyone needs to go to at least once a year. So, yes, if anyone's looking for chocolate cake, that we might hit Portillo's again this year. So, yeah, sign up. We haven't, I haven't heard the dates yet. Usually they're like the first week in November. Yeah, so we'll be getting that out here once I hear those dates. It's so fun to steal your kids and take them for an evening. So definitely look for that sign up in our announcements.
All right, so the next steps. It's kind of a review of what we've talked about. It's time to, as freshmen and sophomores, it's time to think about starting your career post-high school. And it's not like you have to have it nailed down, one specific thing and done. But maybe get some ideas. Take a look at, go back. If you don't remember how to log in career cruising, I can find your login information, or we'll get a hold of Mrs. Holm. And take a look at what you did with her as far as interest inventories go. As each year goes by, sometimes your interest changes a bit. So you could log back in, you can check out that information. What I like about career cruising is if you have an account already, it saves your searches. So you can always go back, you can change, you can add. But it is a good way to kind of start looking at possible careers. The FAFSA forecaster to get an idea, especially for parents, what kind of aid may you qualify for. I already talked about career cruising. The College Board for those practice SAT tests and everything, if you haven't heard of the Khan Academy, it's a great site, even without the SAT test prep on it. If your student's home and they can't remember the math lesson or how to do a problem, pull up Khan Academy and search specific subject areas. Like if you're in Algebra 1 and you're doing something with inequalities, you can put that in. It'll pull up the video lesson of the teacher teaching it. I used it when my daughters were in high school because trig was a long, long time ago for me. So that was the only way I was able to help them typically. And then it really got to the point where it's like, get whatever dad's good over, so we watch. That's it. I appreciate that. That was done. And then the college fairs. You know, at these college fairs, they have 2-year schools, they have 4-year schools. The military will be there. The military is always very happy to talk to your sons and daughters. If you were to get information from them, because unlike 20 years ago, they're not so much like used car salesmen I've run into sometimes. They're calling your kids and calling your kids and calling your kids. They're going to send out an email, they're going to send out a postcard. the kid's interested, they can mark, I want more information, and send it back. Other than that, they're probably going to back off. So if you've had any kind of experience in past years, it's really changed since then. They want your student in, if they can get them in, but they're not going to knock the door down trying to get them in. So.
And if you guys are curious what, we're basically doing a similar presentation for the 11th and 12th grade edition, but it will have a little bit more, including things about college visits and things that really apply more to juniors and seniors. So if you go home and you're like, gosh, I wonder what next year is going to look like for my 11th grader, feel free to pull up this presentation online once it's posted and just look through the slides for the junior senior one if you just want to plan ahead. You got a few resources tonight, one being the scholarship packet Mr. Church talked about that Mrs. Spratt does a nice job of putting together. The other is a 4-year college planning guide. So that will have bullet points of things you should be doing each year as well, just to make sure you guys are on track.
So, and Mrs. Spratt's a great resource as well, especially as a parent. She has 3 kids go through Oregon High School. She has 3 kids go through one bachelor's, 2 of their masters at public and private schools. She can tell you all about the kind of phone calls or questions you should ask sometimes as a parent to kind of push your way through. So please utilize her if you have questions about the scholarship spreadsheet. It does tend to be a living document because sometimes we get notifications saying the scholarship's not being offered anymore, so she'll delete it out. Or just today, this afternoon, after we printed all of them, she got an email notifying that one of the scholarships, the name has changed completely. Different agency taking it over. She's like, I just printed those. So she'll make the change, and every once in a while she'll update them to keep it as up to date as possible. So that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions we can answer?
You each have our card. If you didn't pick it up, our cards are out on the table. Feel free if you get home and think of something or just didn't want to ask in front of everyone, we're happy to address that. If you didn't visit the 3 nice women out there from 3 of our community colleges, we have a rep from Sauk, Highland, and Kish. It's great to pick up information. Even if you don't think you would start there, you're thinking, oh, I want to start directly at a 4-year school. They're also people that can help connect you with those dual credit opportunities. We have some kids that are taking classes off-site for part or full days as well, their junior, senior year. So there's some great resources. Make sure you say hi and let them feel welcome to Oregon before you head out.
And just, as a parent that has 2 kids in college right now, the FAFSA forecaster, I think it's a really good thing to take a look and see what you may or may not qualify for, or possibly what the federal government thinks you should qualify. There's a thing called the EFC, and it's the expected family contribution. And if I moved to a tent, I could probably cough up that amount of money to provide for my daughter.